Oxford. Navigate to Oxford. Navigate to Oxford. Good morning YouTube, and welcome to the Countmouth channel. It's a bit of a sad day, people, for this is the last ride of my F800r. I'm taking it to Barnstormer to drop it off in preparation for picking up, yes, picking up a new bike. I'm not going to spoil it and tell you what it is until you see it. I love this bike, and I genuinely am going to miss it. I'm actually sad. I think any motorcyclist watching this is going to know what I mean when I say that I am sad. But I'm genuinely sad to be losing this bike. It's been with me a year, and I've loved it, and it's just been brilliant. I love this bike, and I would recommend it to anyone. Look at my long-term review of the bike, and you can see, you know, how great I think this bike is. But this change has been on the cards for a while. I've been thinking about it. I always knew this would be a short stop, this bike, for me. I didn't want to keep it. I didn't plan to keep it too long. I thought I'd keep it longer than I have, but to be honest, yeah, it just well, I don't know, I just did one of those unexpected things where I test rode the new bike, without any planning. It wasn't planned. I just came down to Barnstormer because my bike was being dropped in to get some work done. And they said, I asked a question about the bike I was looking at, and they said, do you want to take it out? And I was like, yeah, okay. So that was that, really. So here we are, just down the road from where I live, just picked up the new bike. And, well, here she is. Yes, it's the BMW F800r. I fucking love this bike. This bike is fucking insane. I've got the Astropovic exhaust. She's very nice. To say it's that little bit fucking off, but that's cool. So it's got everything. I've got the tracker built in. It's got this is the top of the range one, so it's the SE Sport. Comes with every single option you can possibly have, which is brilliant. It's a beast, man. It's a fucking beast. This bike it's a bit like a schizophrenic, to be honest with you. It's like really calm and quite, you know, nice to ride, but you can just feel it just kind of going, come on, let me out. And then you just let it loose and it goes fucking mental. Obviously it's heavy. It's a lot heavier than my other bike, my old bike, the F800r. A lot heavier. And actually when I test rode it, it didn't have much fuel in it, so it didn't feel that heavy at all. But it is fucking heavy. I am kind of on tippy toes. I mean, I'm on toes, but I'm also flat-footed. It depends where I am. Vibration-wise, I haven't ridden it enough yet, guys, to really say anything about the vibrations, but we're going to go out and do a bit of riding now. Let's just start the beast. I need to name this bike. I didn't name my last bike. But this thing needs a name like Freya. Some sort of Viking fucking warlord of a woman. So, first little gripe on this bike. My BMW F800r had tyre pressure readout. Amazingly, this doesn't. What it does have is range. So right now it's saying range and telling me how many miles I've got left of fuel, which is really useful because I didn't have that on my last bike, and I'm really glad I've got that. But come on, BMW, you could have put a tyre pressure fucking readout on it. Anyway, it's not the end of the world. Right, so on this column here we've got the different suspension settings. We've got trip info, we've got our cruise control, awesome. We've got our light. That button there basically turns these lights to this light. I really like that, it's cool. Then you've got your normal beams. This thing is amazing. So I had this on my last bike, but I had to use my hand. Now I can use this little dongle thing, this little thing here, twist it around, I'll twist it inwards, it zooms in, twist it out, zoom out. Then I can click through and it will take me onto all the different things. And I can go on here and then I can use it up and down to look at all the different engine temperatures and all that crap. Brilliant, really, really good. And then go back to navigation. Anyway, let's get fucking going, yeah? Let's try not to drop the fucking thing because it weighs a ton. So look, I don't know if you can see that, but my foot's flat on the floor, yeah? And this foot is flat on the floor. Now if I put them forward, not so much. But right next to the pegs, flat on the floor. Let's go. Let's take the beast on the road. By the way, look, change down gear, quick shifter. Oh my god! I'll tell you what, it's a revelation. If you haven't got one, fucking go out and get yourself a quick shifter. They are incredible. Jesus, this thing is a beast. Taking it easy on the new tyres. See what, you definitely start to feel a little vibration in the right hand when you get towards the old 5,000 rev mark, but it doesn't last very long once you get it past the 5,000 revs. You know, once you get it to about 6,000 revs, don't feel it, really. It's a fucking maniac. It is a maniac. This fucking bike is a maniac. I should really start actually being serious, shouldn't I? And, you know, actually do some talking about the bike. It's, you know, it's every bike to every person, I think is probably the right way to say it. You know, look at it. I'm doing 30 miles an hour now. I'm sat upright. I'm comfortable. Got the heated grips on. Got my little sat nav, you know, and yeah, it's calm. It's calm little bike. Well, not little, but you know what I mean. It's calm, yeah. As soon as you get this thing into like a national, it just fucking comes alive. And I'm in road mode, I'm not in dynamic or dynamic pro. It's a brilliant bike. It's an amazing bike. It's so much fun. It's confidence inspiring as well, I have to say. Before I test rode this bike, I was really like, come on mate, you've only been riding for a fucking year. Should you really be thinking about 1000cc, 160 brake horsepower maniac of a bike? But after I rode it, I realised that actually, you know, experience isn't everything. For a start, I'm in control of this bike. It's not in control of me. Secondly, I actually found myself going a bit quicker than I normally would. A lot of that is because of that bloody screen. That screen's amazing. I didn't, you know, I don't feel the wind, whereas on my other bike there was no screen, so I just feel the wind all the time. It's little things like that give you this confidence, but also this thing is planted. This thing is absolutely planted to the ground. The other thing I would say is that I did read a lot about the vibrations. I watched a lot of videos, and you know, some people have a real problem with it, some people don't. In fact, Phil Boy, and I'm really sorry mate if I haven't pronounced your name right, who's a friend of mine, he went out and test rode one of these and he couldn't get on with it because of the vibrations. Loved the bike, but just couldn't get on with it because of the vibrations, and that really worried me because I've kind of loved this bike from when it first came out. And I just kind of thought I want one. So I was very worried about that. But I think it does depend on the person. I'm not going to say that it's not going to cause me problems. I don't know yet. There are things out there like you can get weighted bar ends, additional weighted bar ends that will make it more bearable. You know, if I start to have a problem, then I will. But you know, my F800r, that thing was, I didn't realise how vibey that was until I rode one of these. The other thing is a lot of people have said that they find the clutch quite heavy. Not at all. I don't feel it heavy at all. It's really light. So I think it's worth saying that that there have been reviews out there that were done in say 2015. Obviously they've made changes to these bikes, you know, subtle changes, and one of those has to be this clutch, because there's no way this is a heavy clutch, and maybe they've done some subtle changes to the vibrations as well. those mirrors are amazing. Two reasons why I'm going to say that. One, I haven't got to move my fucking arms to be able to see in them, so they're really clear. Two, my BMW F800r, and I'm not going to be knocking the BMW F800r because it is a fucking awesome bike, but on my BMW F800r, those things at 60 miles an hour would be vibrating like fucking mental, and I wouldn't be able to see a thing in them. On this one, perfectly clear. Perfectly clear. So let's talk vibrations. I'm doing 40, so I'm doing 4,000 RPM in third. I can feel some vibrations in my arse. It's not nasty. I'm now accelerating. I'm in fourth. I'm doing 63, 65, and I'm in the middle. I'm in between. I'm at 5,500 revs, and yeah, there's some vibrations in the handlebars. For me, it's not the end of the world. So let's talk about additions that I've had added to this bike. Apart from the Astropovic exhaust, which is awesome. The stock exhaust on this bike is very good. Don't get me wrong, it is very good. But the one I test rode had an Astropovic on it, and or an Aquapovic. I don't know which is which, but it had an exhaust on it that was very nice. And that's the one I've got on here. It is very nice sounding. I've also added a Road Angel bike tracking system. Thoroughly recommend one. I've also got the BMW alarm. Now, is it worth it? Now, what I can tell you is, it doesn't make any difference to insurance policy whatsoever. It's purely a peace of mind thing, and for me, it is worth it. I want to know that there is as many measures on my bike to stop people nicking it as possible. And an alarm, although I know people ignore alarms, but if you look at it this way, if your bike's data tagged, if your bike's tracked, and if your bike has an alarm on it, and the guy's bike next to you doesn't, which one are they going to go for? They're going to go for the one that's got the least effort to steal, right? Oh, this thing is a fucking demon! Man, this thing is just fucking, it's like a hot knife through butter. I tell you what, guys, this bike just, don't even have to think about it. This thing just fucking rides itself. It is so it's so balanced, it's so quick, it's just not scary. It just is not a scary bike. I actually feel, it's ridiculous, I feel safer on this bike than I did on my F800r. And maybe that's because there's a lot more around me. Maybe it's because it's bigger, much more upright position, and maybe it's just, you know, there's more shit around me that is making me feel that this bike is, that I feel safer. This is, I tell you what, this is more balanced than my F800r. It was so smooth at low speed. It's unfucking real. I am recording. It's unreal at slow speed. It really is. And it doesn't, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It doesn't feel heavy at all. Oh my god, I look amazing. So final thoughts on my first ride on my new S1000XR. Well, it's an amazing, effortless bike. You know, this thing could go all over fucking Europe without breaking a sweat. Can do most bikes without breaking a sweat. It really did feel connected. You do kind of think, I'm going to overtake that car, and then you've overtaken that car. You know, oh, I'm going to go around that bend, and you've gone around that bend. It is, you do feel really connected to the bike. It is that good. Sounds amazing, very comfortable. Yeah, I'm going to give in. It's a bit vibey. Between 5,000 and 6,000 revs, it's a bit vibey. I have noticed it. It's not enough to make me not love this bike. So yes, the BMW S1000XR gets a big thumbs up from the Count Mift. It's a fucking awesome bike. Love it. Oh, it's just amazing. Oh, it's amazing.